guys, welcome to the breakdown. Today we're going to be talking about 7 things I love about my Range Rover. So this car when I was growing up was one car that I dreamed about all the time. Every time I saw one on the road, I was like, wow, look! I don't know why, but something about this car grabbed my attention from a very young age, and I've always loved the L322 Range Rovers. With that said though, when the opportunity came up, I decided that it was time to buy my own 2011 Range Rover HSE LUX is technically what the car is. I actually didn't find out that it had the luxury package until I was looking over the invoice later on, about a week after I bought the car. But let's go ahead and jump into the 7 things I love about my Range Rover. So the number one thing I love about this car is the sound system. Unfortunately, specifically with the GoPro, I can't play a clip because it just wouldn't sound right over the camera. It would sound absolutely terrible, but the sound system, specifically the Harman Kardon Logic 7 sound system that Land Rover put in these cars at this time, will blow your head off. I have to keep the bass a couple notches down all the time because if you turn it all the way up, it shakes the entire car so violently that you think it's about to fall over. And as it's a Land Rover, it quite possibly could. The sound system in this car is unlike any other that I've ever heard. Even in other luxury cars, they just don't come quite close to being as loud and as vibrant, if sound can be vibrant, as the Range Rover's sound system. The second thing I love about my Range Rover is the comfort that you experience when driving the car. Now, people have compared the new ones to the Mercedes S-Class, the BMW 7 Series, and the Rolls-Royce Ghost. Now, I've never driven a Ghost, so I don't know how it compares, much less the Rolls-Royce from 2011. However, I can say that there is not another SUV on the market from this era that I've been in that comes close to the comfort that you can experience when driving this car. Another thing, you would think this car rolls a lot when you're going around the corner quickly, and it doesn't. The suspension is so fine-tuned when you're going around the corner that you really don't know you're driving a car that weighs almost 6,000 pounds. The interior quality of this car makes it for an extremely luxurious experience, and I highly recommend giving one of these a test drive. So the third thing I love about this car, which is a little weird, is the looks that people give you when you're driving down the road. Now, I live in a town that has a population of 52,000 people. Nothing insane. So these cars aren't very common, even one from 2011. You'll see a couple from like 2004 to 2006, but you don't see many post-2010 Range Rovers, which means every time you pull up to a light, there's someone at the light staring at you. Whether it's the person next to you, the person in front of you who you can see looking in their rear view mirror, or the person behind you that you can see just staring at the car. Now, a lot of people think this is weird, that I would love such a weird thing about the car, but it's true. When you feel like you're sharing the experience of the car with other people. Now, I don't know if they love the car. I don't know if they hate me for driving the car. I don't know if they think I'm stupid for buying a Range Rover. I don't know what thoughts are going through their head, but it gives you a tiny bit of a glimpse into what it's like to own an exotic car. I'm not calling this exotic, but I am saying people think it's a lot more expensive than it actually is because of its references in pop culture. It is a completely vain thing to love about the car, but I don't care. It's probably my favorite thing overall about this car. So the fourth thing that I love about this car is that people move out of your way. Now, you get cut off quite a bit, but when you come up behind someone, they almost always just get over for you. A lot of people say that the Crown Vic is a car where people will just move out of your way. A Range Rover with its headlights on, that is too. So the fifth thing that I love about my Range Rover is the infotainment system. Now, the first generation of the L322 had a shit infotainment system. I mean, it was horrible. But when 2010 came along, Land Rover introduced, along with Jaguar, this new system that is actually really good for when it was designed, when it came out. It's nowhere near as good as Honda's new infotainment system, Toyota, or any of these companies that have infotainment systems out now. However, for when this came out, it's absolutely stunning. It's very pretty to look at, and it's very easy to navigate. Things are a bit hidden in some places, but only settings that you wouldn't necessarily use on a day-to-day basis. Along with the infotainment system, you also get this cool TDF display as a speedometer or gauge cluster. So your speedometer and tachometer are actually digital. You could also pull up separate menus on your gauge cluster where you can turn on and off features of the car. It's a really incredible way of living with your car and not having to mess around with the infotainment system over here. So the next thing I love about this car is its off-road capabilities. Now, as it's a Range Rover built by Land Rover, you would obviously expect that its off-road capabilities are near endless, and they are. I've barely pushed this car to the limit, and I take it off-road at least 3 times a week. I really love to stretch this car's legs when I'm taking it off-road. However, I haven't really used the car to its full advantage off-road. I'm a bit scared to push it a little too hard, but I know that no matter what I'm doing, it could always do quite a lot more than what I'm asking it to do. And that's something I absolutely love about this car. You can push it, and it will just keep going. I'll do a separate video about all of the off-road capabilities, everything that the car can do off-road, but I will say that it is probably one of my favorite things that I love about the Range Rover. So the last thing that I love about the Range Rover that I'll mention in this video are the seats. The seats are absolutely amazing. When you sit down in them, it's a comfort that you really don't experience in many cars. The seats are so comfortable. The leather is the highest quality leather that I've seen in a car, and I absolutely love the quality of the seats. For long road trips, these cars are absolutely amazing. You can see above everyone, you sit higher than everyone, and the seats are absolutely the perfect companion for any road trip that you take. So thanks for watching this video, guys, on 7 things I love about my Range Rover. If you have any questions about the car, leave them down in the comment section below. There are quite a few things I love. Likewise, there are some things that I don't like, which you can check out right up here to check out 5 things I hate about my Range Rover.